If you've ever sneezed, laughed too hard, or jumped on a trampoline with your grandkids and felt a little leak, I need you to stop scrolling right now, because what I'm about to tell you, most doctors don't have time to explain in a 15-minute office visit. I'm Dr. Romalia, and over years of working with women in midlife and beyond, I have seen the same pattern over and over again. Women think pelvic weakness is just part of getting older, something you quietly manage with pads and pelvic crossed legs and hoping for the best. That is not true. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your pelvic floor changes after 50, what the actual research says works, and 7 specific exercises you can start today, completely free, no equipment, no gym. But before we get into the exercises, I want to give you the real science, not the social media version. Here's what's actually happening in your body. After menopause, your estrogen levels drop significantly. Estrogen isn't just about hot flashes and mood, it also helps keep the tissues of your pelvic floor, your bladder, and your vaginal walls thick, elastic, and well supplied with blood. When estrogen drops, those tissues can become thinner and less resilient. At the same time, the pelvic floor muscles, the sling of muscles that support your bladder, uterus, and bowel, naturally lose some strength and coordination with age, the same way muscles in your arms or legs do if they're not actively trained. Pregnancy, childbirth, chronic coughing, obesity, and even years of poor lifting mechanics can add to this wear over time. Now, here's the part that matters most. Research on pelvic floor muscle training, what you may have heard called Kegel exercises, has consistently shown that for many women, especially those with mild to moderate stress incontinence, that's leaking with coughing, sneezing, laughing, or exercise, structured pelvic floor training can meaningfully reduce symptoms. This isn't a fringe theory. It is considered a first-line, evidence-supported approach by urogynecologists and pelvic floor physical therapists before more invasive options are even discussed. I want to be honest with you because I respect you too much to oversell this. Exercise is not a guaranteed fix for everyone, and it will not reverse tissue changes caused by lower estrogen on its own. If you have pelvic organ prolapse, persistent pain, or significant leakage, please see your doctor or a pelvic floor physical therapist for a proper evaluation. These exercises work best as part of a real plan, not a replacement for one. But for a huge number of women, consistent, correctly performed pelvic floor and core training can improve bladder control, support sexual function, and help you feel stronger and more confident in your own body. That's not a sales pitch. That's what years of clinical research and physical therapy practice have shown again and again. So let's get into it. These are the 7 exercises I want you to learn, not because they're trendy, but because each one targets a different part of the support system that keeps your pelvic floor strong. Number 1, the basic Kegel contraction. Sit or lie down comfortably. Imagine you are trying to stop the flow of urine midstream, or stopping yourself from passing gas. That's the muscle group we're targeting. Squeeze and lift those muscles upward and inward, hold for 5 seconds, then fully release for 5 seconds. The release matters just as much as the squeeze. Your pelvic floor needs to learn to relax, not just clench. Do 10 repetitions. If you're not sure you're engaging the right muscles, try this once while sitting on the toilet to identify the sensation, then do the actual exercise sessions off the toilet. Number 2, the quick flick. Once you're comfortable with slow Kegels, add fast ones. Squeeze hard and release immediately, like a light switch flicking on and off. Do this 10 times in a row. This trains the fast twitch muscle fibers in your pelvic floor, the ones responsible for that split-second reaction when you cough or sneeze unexpectedly. Slow holds build endurance. Quick flicks build reflex strength. You genuinely need both. Number 3, the bridge with a pelvic floor lift. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. As you exhale, engage your pelvic floor like in exercise 1. Then lift your hips toward the ceiling, squeezing your glutes. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds at the top, then lower slowly. Do 10 repetitions. This is important because your glutes and pelvic floor work together as a team. Strengthening one in isolation while ignoring the other creates an imbalance. Number 4, standing wall squats with breath control. Stand with your back against a wall, feet shoulder width apart, and slide down into a shallow squat, knees bent maybe 30 degrees. As you come back up, exhale and gently engage your pelvic floor. Hold the squat position for 10 to 15 seconds, then stand fully and rest. Repeat 5 times. This builds functional strength, real-world strength you use when you're getting up from a chair or lifting a grandchild, not just lying down strength. Number 5, the bird dog. Get on your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Extend your right arm forward and your left leg back simultaneously, keeping your hips level and your core gently braced, then return to start and switch sides. Do 8 repetitions per side. This exercise trains the deep core and pelvic floor to work together for stability, which is essential because a weak core puts extra downward pressure on the pelvic floor every single day, just from standing and walking. Number 6, the seated diaphragmatic breath with pelvic floor release. Sit comfortably, hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly expand and consciously letting your pelvic floor soften and release downward slightly. Exhale slowly, gently drawing your pelvic floor up and in. Do this for 1 full minute. This one surprises people. Breathing mechanics directly affect pelvic floor pressure, and learning to coordinate your breath with your pelvic floor reduces unnecessary strain throughout the day, not just during exercise. Number 7, the heel slides with pelvic floor engagement. Lie on your back, knees bent. Engage your pelvic floor, then slowly slide one heel away from you until your leg is nearly straight, keeping your low back stable and pressed gently into the floor. Then slide it back. Alternate legs, 8 repetitions each side. This trains your pelvic floor and deep core to stay engaged through movement, not just while sitting still, which is exactly how you actually use these muscles in real life. Here is how to put this together. You do not need to do all 7 every single day for an hour. That's not realistic, and it's not how muscle adaptation works. Pick 3 to 4 of these exercises, rotate through them 10 to 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Research on pelvic floor training programs generally shows that meaningful improvement takes time, often a minimum of 6 to 12 weeks of consistent practice before women notice a real difference, not 3 days. If you stick with it for 8 weeks and track how you feel, fewer leaks, more confidence, laughing without worrying, you will likely understand exactly why I'm so passionate about this. One more thing I have to say clearly, because I care about you getting real results, not just watching a video and feeling motivated for 20 minutes. If you have pelvic pain, a sensation of heaviness or bulging, or you've been told you have a prolapse, some of these exercises need to be modified or guided by a pelvic floor physical therapist. Doing them incorrectly in those cases can sometimes make symptoms worse, not better. This isn't me being cautious for no reason, it's responsible medicine. A real evaluation takes the guesswork out and makes sure you're training the right way for your specific body. Now, if this video gave you even one thing you didn't know about your own body today, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because I'm building this channel specifically for women over 50 who are tired of being told that decline is just inevitable. It is not. Your body responds to training at every single age. The research on this is honestly one of the most encouraging things I get to share with patients. Drop a comment below and tell me which one of these 7 exercises you're going to start with tonight. I read every single comment, and I will be replying personally over the next few days. And if you know a friend, a sister, a mother who has been quietly dealing with this and feeling embarrassed to talk talk about it, send her this video. This is exactly the kind of conversation that should not be private and shameful. It should be normal because almost every woman goes through some version of this. In my next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening to vaginal tissue after menopause, the real science behind it, and what actually helps beyond exercise. Because pelvic floor strength is only one piece of the puzzle, and you deserve the whole picture, not just half of it. Subscribe now so you don't miss it, and I will see you in the next one.